person. So I can really kind of soften the blow for you. Feel free to give me a call at 901-870-7492. You can reach me on Facebook at Ricky Tucker, Coach RIX on Facebook. And we can really talk about this because parents, I've been really excited, and I understand technology really a little bit more than I said, but it's been really helpful talking with Mr. Carter. So I would like to encourage you, whether you are the parents of an athlete or not, then I would encourage you to get in contact with us. Let's talk about it, see how we can get you engaged with Mr. Carter and his program to help him launch into the greater Memphis market, number one, and then to just really get an opportunity to meet, find out some more things about technology, because he can help the children as well as people who are in our age group. So once again, Mr. Carter, if you would give them your contact information.
Telephone number is area code 662-305-9777. You can reach us on from our website. It's www.myttil.com, or you can follow us on Facebook as well at myttil.
Okay, good. I'm going to have to make sure to connect with you on Facebook because we haven't done that just yet. So I'm really excited about the possibilities. And as I was saying to you earlier, that one of our Coach Rick's team leaders, market leaders, is in Carbondale, Illinois, and one of his former players played in the NFL, and this gentleman came up with some technology invention that I think it's a split screen that we see typically when skiers are doing downhill skiing. So we know that the possibilities are there, and we know that the gray matter, if you will, is there among our athletes as well as other young people. So we're not necessarily asking just for athletes. We're asking for all young people to get in contact with Mr. Carter, and let's see if we can help them with some of these things. These are the classes that are offered. We've got robotics, coding, application development. Now this game development, that's a big deal. I know that I have been talking with young men since about 2008, and most of them have said, well, I love playing hand games. My question to them has always been, how about making them and creating them? And here we go. I mean, you're actually helping young people to develop this. You've got 3D animation, which is incredible, graphic design, web design. So you just do a great number of things.
Correct.
All right. Now, there's probably something that I have not asked you that is critically important for everybody to know. So we know that you work with young people. Correct. And I wish you would feel sorry for some of us older people too, and at some point maybe start offering this for people my age, because, you know, I got to think about doing something, you know. So maybe you'll think about that. Have mercy on us older people. Let's see. Let's think in terms of some of the best ways for, this is a new market you're trying to get into. What are some of the best ways, for example, when you launched in Chicago, what were some exciting stories about you getting started there? Just some exciting stories about maybe some things that have taken place there in the Chicago market.
In the Chicago market, when we got started there, what we call grassroots, we were able to work in the community with the kids, and having them to build computers and going back and working on computers for some of the community centers and some of the seniors. So what they did was, some of the kids wanted to start their own business, so I immediately started teaching them how to do a business plan. On Saturday mornings, what happens is, instead of the people taking their computer to a Geek Squad or to another place to have their computer fixed, they would bring it to the community center for the kids to fix on them for a minimum cost. And they started their little business up doing that, and it was fulfilling.
Oh, great.
Fulfilling. Yeah.
Well, you know, we've got seniors here. We've got computers that don't work, because I can tell you we've got a few ourselves. And I think there are a few people here that have a little bit of cash, so maybe we can help you to get something like that started here in the market. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, please inquire more about mentoring youth through technology. You can reach me, Coach RIX, that's Respect, Integrity, and Excellence, at 901-870-7492. You can also reach me on Facebook at Ricky Tucker, Coach RIX. And today, once again, we're talking to Mr. Randle Carter Sr., and he's the Executive Director for Mentoring Youth Through Technology. This is a nonprofit.
Correct.
And this is designed to help our young people, starting at 13 all the way to 18.
10 to 18.
10 to 18. So I've been slipping. So ladies and gentlemen, see there, you can even get them in earlier. Now, do you have, I really don't like to call out, but what was one of your greatest successes? What was probably one of your nicest, if you will, projects there in the Chicago area? And we keep going back to Chicago because you've actually lived that. And we want people to know that you've already experienced really what you want to bring here to the greater Memphis area. And I mean, there's a lot of excitement, and there are a lot of things that you've accomplished. So I know that you are a humble man, but it's okay. We're comfortable with that down south.
I've worked for major corporations. I worked for Department of Aviation in Chicago, so I managed all of the systems for O'Hare and Midway airports. As a consultant, I've flown all over the U.S. I've done work for a number of universities. The closest one here is probably Arkansas State University, where we installed what we used to access grids. I've done work for University of Maryland and other organizations, and I've flown around and done a lot of major jobs for major corporations.
I see here that you have in your bio, it says as a personal passion, you've created this organization. And you talk about the STEM. Share that acronym, STEM, for those folks in the audience that really don't know what that acronym represents and really what it means.
Science, technology, engineering, and math. And basically it focuses in on careers in those professions in science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, I know that those are broad when you start talking about science and technology and engineering and math, but we focus mostly on the technology and the engineering portion of it. And from a technology perspective of some of the professions that you just named, which is the coding and things of that nature, and from the engineering side, the robotics plays a lot of part of the engineering mechanism of what we do. So we kind of focus on the technology and the engineering side of it more than the science and the math with mentoring youth through technology.
Right. Okay, and I keep going back to Chicago, coming back to the Mid-South area, because my goal is to help to bridge the gap, because we're trying to get you here, and we want you here full time. So Chicago, sorry, but we really want him here, and we can share him if you don't mind. So we're going to have to do a top-down and a bottom strategy, obviously, because with you having a for-profit entity and then having a nonprofit entity, and you've used the word grassroots. And I see in your bio, or rather in your brochure here, you talked about working with community partners. So in an effort for me and others to really try and help you to launch into this market successfully, what types of community partners would you see working best with?
Mentoring programs, any type of community service for the youth, in that age bracket. But mostly we work with a lot of mentoring programs and community type service for youth, at-risk, underserved communities with our youth.
Well, and I mentioned the phrase gap. Now, we realize too that there is a digital divide. How does your program help with that? And in some ways it's kind of an obvious question, and in some ways it may not be.
Our program helps them get more involved in those areas.
Absolutely.
the numbers will show that our kids are not getting involved in technology, or some people say STEM-based initiatives, or I say technology. They're not getting involved in technology as when it comes to them obtaining it as a skill set. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. Because that skill, obviously, go ahead, you were going to say something else.
So we try to get them involved in it hands-on, because again, we talked about when my son got him exposed to baseball, and he didn't think he was going to like it and just loved it all the way through. He was actually a switch hitter. But it's the same thing with technology. I tell the kids all the time when they come in, well, we don't want to do that. No, let's try it first. And then all of a sudden they start to like it and start, participating more and more in it. So we just want to get our kids exposed to it. A lot of it they're not being exposed to. Right. And once we expose it to them, the numbers are just phenomenal.
Yeah, because we realize that there is genius in most, if not all, of our children. They all have something to bring.
And some of our youth have even switched their careers and gone off to college for computer science or computer engineering, stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Tell me more about that. Can you think of one of your students in particular that's actually done that?
I have two that's just over the last 2 years, both of them I went to DeVry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what were they thinking about majoring in before?
One was thinking about doing something in I can't recall what it was, but it wasn't technology.
Wow.
One of them wanted to be an athlete.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he wasn't even playing sports at the particular time in high school.
Yeah.
So that's a little challenging to show you what a mindset can be as well.
Yes, so it's a reality check, because at the end of the day, even some of our better athletes, and I think that with you having been in the Chicago area, as you and I have talked, you've talked about some of the folks that you've actually played sports with earlier on and that are aware of your program. But even on the best day and them having their best game, some of our young athletes are just not going to make it simply because the numbers don't fare out. So that is why Coach RIX Winners is in existence, because we want them to understand that we want them to know that they have a choice, and that choice is to play sports if they make it. And if they don't make it, then it's okay, because we will prepare them to still have a nice life ahead of them. And that's what you're doing through mentoring youth through technology. Correct. So we're really thankful for that. We're going to make sure that we share your information a couple more times, because unfortunately our time is growing short. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're talking with Mr. Randle Carter Sr., and he's the Executive Director for Mentoring Youth Through Technology. I can be reached, Coach RIX can be reached at 901-870-7492, and on Facebook at Ricky Tucker or Coach RIX. And Mr. Carter, we want to make sure that we can get your information once again, so that we can get them in contact with you directly.
We can be reached at area code 662-305-9777, or you can follow us on Facebook at MYTTIL.
Okay, that's great. As we're closing out, we really would like to ask everyone to go to this website. We'd like for you to Google or search, if you will, whichever your search engine is, Mentoring Youth Through Technology, and look for Mr. Randle Carter Sr. He is the Executive Director for Mentoring Youth Through Technology, and it has been a pleasure talking with you today.
Likewise.
I'm excited to have the opportunity to help you to successfully come into the Memphis market, and we want you to know that we play this game of life and business to win. So ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and thank you for sitting and listening. Please feel free to reach out to us at 901-870-7492 if you know of an athlete particularly that